How many times do you think the average woman thinks about getting bangs in a day? But then I look at the picture of us from 2007 and I'm like, no, I should not do bangs.
Just print that out. We need to print that out and put it in our bathroom as a reminder. But also, ask me how many times I want bangs and I want to go blonde or I want to cut my hair.
Hello everyone, it's Andrea and Dina is here with me today. Your ladies in black are matching today. Both of us have been sampling a lot of fragrances. We're kind of on a hunt for our new signature scent for 2024.
I think doing samples is so much fun, and we've always done samples, but this time we had this concentrated kind of like effort of doing it together, and then also I had a goal, which was nice. And I mean, of all the times I've bought samples, I think this time has been really successful.
Sometimes if you're just in the mood for something new, sampling can just scratch that itch for something new. Even if you don't go and end up buying the full size, it's just a nice way to switch things up. And obviously, if you go to a department store, sometimes you can get samples just for free if you talk to a sales associate. But if you have particular fragrances in mind that you want to try, there are so many websites now that you can buy samples from. For me, it's Twisted Lily, Ministry of Scent, and then the Victoria Beckham website.
I did Twisted Lily, I did Lucky Scent, and then I just did individual houses. I started getting targeted ads, which is annoying, but it worked. I started getting more ads from kind of boutique fragrance companies as well, which was kind of nice, not just like your cool water ads. So it was nice. But yeah, it's weird. It creeps me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie.
It's like spying on my private conversations because I'm not out here Googling. You know, I've been talking about my little birds on my patio.
Yeah.
I have not purchased anything for the birds. I talk about the birds, you know, out loud when, you know, my husband and I are having our morning coffee. We look out for our little doves that have a nest on our patio. I talk to you about my birds because they come back, you know, every spring. I started getting bird feeder ads on Instagram. So how would you describe your fragrance taste? And was there something in particular you were looking for this particular, like, 2024 scent journey? Did you have a certain fragrance type in mind that you wanted to hunt for, or were you just kind of just in the mood just to try a bunch of different things?
I think for me, longevity and working with my skin type is the most important thing. I love unique scents. The weirder the ingredient, like how is it going to work with me, my skin, my lifestyle, what I'm wearing that day. I love oud. I've done oud. I want to kind of go more towards like other fragrances now. I love sweet smelling things, but I can't do gourmand. So I wanted to try to get as close to what a sweet smell would be on me that doesn't go gross. And I kept it open, but I did find through websites like Fragrantica and Lucky Scent that people are so amazing at reviews. I was able to find a lot of samples that were within my typical palette anyways.
A fragrance can smell completely different on somebody's skin. There's this element of your natural scent and your skin's pH that affects the way a fragrance can perform on you. So I always kind of take reviews with a grain of salt because a lot of stuff that people love and that I love smelling out into the world, they don't smell good on me. Anything with vanilla and amber together, absolute garbage on me. What I love is what I like to call sexy lumberjack fragrances. That's my comfort zone. That's my favorite thing. I like stuff if it's a little bit citrusy, a little bit fresh, a little bit aromatic and woody. That's kind of my favorite scent. But like you said, I was in the mood for something a little bit more interesting, a little bit sweeter. Ultimately, though, my favorites ended up being sexy lumberjack scents because I am me. I'm predictable. It's like me buying the same nude lipstick shade over and over again.
But it's hard though. I mean, what works on you also works on you for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So we can deviate, but so the first one that I have is I have notes on my lap, so apologies. It's Musk Perfume Oil by Bruno Acampora. The notes are musk, rose, violet, vanilla, cloves, amber, and sandalwood. So in theory, this should work on me. When it went on, even though there's no patchouli in there, it just kind of reminded me of patchouli like straight away. And then it dries down to a lovely light floral fragrance, which is beautiful. But the longevity is kind of not good for me. So For 10 mls, it's $220, which absolutely no. Absolutely not. It does not last on me. You have to like literally put your nose up to my wrist to smell it. So I wasn't very happy with that.
I sometimes really like skin scents, but not if it's $250 for 10 milliliters. I feel like if you're spending that kind of money for such a small amount, it should be a really intense concentration. Like the Morocco, like the Marrakesh Intense from Aesop. That one.
Oh, you smell it.
That one, you do a little dab and you smell it for days.
I really want to smell. I want a lot of sillage. I want everybody to know I'm there, but like not to be sick of me.
I like that though, because we are different in that aspect. And most of the time, the fragrances that I tend to love and gravitate towards aren't particularly like beast mode fragrances anyway. Sometimes it ends up projecting and I get a compliment and that's really nice, but that's not a big deal breaker for me. But I know it is for a lot of people.
It's just like a good night out and you wake up and you have like remnants of mascara and you smell like the perfume in your hair from last night. I love that's the way I want it to last.
That's a nice feeling.
That's the way I want it. And you're like, oh, I smell so good. I had such a good night last night. So yeah, I'm more of like, I like the sexy, like nighttime fragrances.
Sweet 302 by Victoria Beckham. I got the discovery set of the 3 Victoria Beckham fragrances and I really like and appreciate all of them. They're really, really high quality, but it's not like I would expect anything else. Everything that she makes, I think, has been of really, really high quality. And the fragrances they're all really high quality. They're all strong. I think she matched the vibe to the scent really, really well. So this is Sweet 302. The top notes are black cherry, red pepper. Middle notes are violet and rose. The base notes are black leather and tobacco. And it's named Sweet 302 after some like hotel suite in Paris that her and David Beckham used to go to or whatever. It actually captures the essence of that. Like when I smell this, it's very dense. Like I smell velvet. I smell leather, cigar smoke in the air. It's really, really interesting. It's just too dense for me, but I would love this in a candle. 2 sprays at the back of my neck and it touched like my sweater and the whole room smelled like this for a day after that because the sweater was in the room. So it's an intense fragrance. I really appreciate it. I think it's very beautiful. It's very unique. I don't really smell the black cherry. To me, it's very leather and tobacco forward.
The next one that I have is Essential Faith Perfume Oil by Essential Faith. Seductive blend of hand-selected oils from Indonesia. When combined, react with an individual's body chemistry and give off kind of differences, which is any fragrance you put on anyway. So even on the company's website, they don't go into detail of what the oils are. So for me, there was an oil by a company called Abdul Karim Egyptian Musk Oil. And it was rumored that Carolyn Bessette Kennedy wore it. It went out of business. This is the closest thing that I have found to it, but it's not quite as good. Yeah, because I still have a bottle left that I'm like hoarding, and I just like sniff it once in a while, and I use it sparingly. I think you should try it. If you don't like it, I'll buy it off you. Like I'll take it from you because like it's very much. I'm sure I've worn the Abdul Karim around you at one point.
You don't smell like everybody else. Like you have a very, very strong and unique point of view. And I think that's why we love talking about fragrance together so much because we're both really passionate about it. And we like some things that are similar, but we have still very different tastes. But I feel like we hate all the same things.
We're the two, like, remember in the Muppets, those 2 old men that sit up in the box?
My next one is another Victoria Beckham that I really appreciate. I really like it. This is the one that Andrea Ali wears. And you know, I'm a fangirl. I love her. But this, unfortunately, does not smell good on me at all. It's worth checking out if you like this type of fragrance. The top notes are Passionfruit and Saffron, which is beautiful. Like, I love the opening. And it's called San Ysidro Drive. The middle notes are rose and jasmine, and the base notes are black amber and agar wood. And I think the amber in it, the amber with the rose and jasmine, those notes don't smell good on my skin. So the opening is beautiful, but then as the day goes by, this smells really bad on me. But if you're somebody that can handle a little amber and rose, it's really, really beautiful.
I follow this one gentleman who is a teacher in Japan, and he is a fragrance blogger, and he finds the most unique things, and this was one of them. It's China White from Nasomatto. It reminds me of White Suede, except if White Suede is an Upper East Side woman, like China White, you know, she's just a bit dingier, still sexy. They're kind of two opposites. It's like powdery, it's smoky, a little floral. It's just like a fun evening fragrance. I wouldn't wear this during the daytime whatsoever. It's gorgeous. And
do you think the person that likes Tom Ford White Suede will like this one?
It was compared to on Fragrantica. People were saying it's people who like China White also like Portrait of a Lady, Tom Ford Oud Wood, Angel. It's very unique. Its lasting power is great. Nasomatto is a very interesting line that I don't have. I've tried some samples before, but nothing I purchased or tried has worked for me except for this one.
Okay, my next one is Supernova by Andrea Maack. Andrea Maack is I think it's an Icelandic fragrance brand, and this fragrance is supposed to kind of capture the essence of Iceland in the fall. The top notes are cardamom, cinnamon, and saffron. Middle notes are lavender, cypress, and cedar. Base notes are vetiver, leather, and oud. I love it. It's very masculine. A bit too masculine for what I'm looking for this year. I would buy this for my husband and like maybe steal it for myself every now and then, but this is mainly a fragrance that I think would just suit him more on a day-to-day basis. It reminds me of a little bit of Viktor and Rolf Spice Bomb, which I used to wear. Yeah, so I think if you like the scent of Viktor and Rolf Spice Bomb, it's kind of like that, but with a more refreshing classic cologne kick from the lavender. It just reminds me of when I was like a kid, when I was younger. My dad used to wear Chanel Bleu. I think it was like Bleu de Chanel, and sometimes I would wear it too, and I liked the way that smelled on me. Same thing with Viktor and Rolf Spice Bomb. So to me, it kind of reminds me of those two, which I think is really nice and beautiful. But yeah, not signature scent 2024 material for me, but definitely for Michael. I would definitely buy this for him. Parisian Musk by Matiere Premier. This had a moment on TikTok. It just kept popping up on my feed, and I got a sample of it. And the top notes are Ambrette seed, cedarwood, and Ambroxan. The middle notes are fig leaf. The base notes are musk and tonka bean. And the opening of this is so amazing. Again, adore the opening. If it would stay like that, I would buy it in an instant, because it's kind of like everything I love about Le Labo Santal 33 mixed with Diptyque Philosophos. But unfortunately on my skin, the fig leaf is just too prominent. It becomes too green, too leafy, and almost to the point that it's overwhelming. And I love a green fragrance, but this is just too leafy, too green for me. I would have liked it to stay more on the creamy, musky side. So unfortunately on my skin, it doesn't do that, but a lot of people love it. So I think it's worth a try.
I also can't do green fig.
That's weird.
I can't. It doesn't smell good on me. Santal Volcanique from Maison Crivelli for men and women. And the notes of this one are sandalwood, ginger, cardamom, lime, cedar, musk, coffee, and ylang ylang. And it's a small, I think it's a small company, and the perfumer, it's named after the nose. It's like warm, spicy, woody, citrus, powdery, and aromatic. I think at one point, if I run out of all my favorites, I will give this one a try. I really, really like it. I love it because it's Santal, but there's also something that's a little not cooling. It's really, I think it's up my alley.
Ode to Dullness by Juliette has a gun. Top notes are Badian. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Then Freesia. The middle notes are cashmere flower and sandalwood. And the base notes are, again, musk and tonka bean. This smells like a sweater.
I feel like is it like a sweater where it's like a cool, like,
it's cozy.
The fibers?
It's like a cozy, it's like cozy cashmere. The freesia also comes through. But then again, as the day goes on, it almost starts to smell like fountain pen ink to me. Like as a kid, I used to have those like fountain pens, and I used to buy the little bottle of ink and refill my fountain pen.
Yes.
And to me, this kind of smells like that too. It's just really interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. It's weird. I appreciate it. I don't know if I want to smell like this, but I like it. I appreciate it. I appreciate its uniqueness, I guess.
The next one that I have is called Italica. It's Casa Moretti Italica by Xerjoff. Xerjoff, I think, for men and women. And the notes of this one are almond milk, saffron, middle is vanilla toffee, and base is sandalwood, musk, and cedar. Milk has really been interesting to me because we all know the milk smell. I like this one. It is a bit expensive. I think it's expensive. Let me see what they're like selling it for. Oh yeah, it's like $300. It's a small bottle. That guy's hand's very big. But it's a cool bottle. It's sweet, almond, vanilla, woody, powdery, which I didn't again think that would work on me because it's very, very sweet, but it works. It's something that I would wear not too often. I think this would be kind of like my special occasion fragrance. People do respond better to sweet fragrances. That's why Gourmand's always been so popular. They just like, I get more compliments when I'm wearing something sweet. The fact that people were like, oh, you smell good. I was like, okay, it's expensive, but it's a winner.
Essential Parfum Fig Infusion. I like fig. This is not a green fig. This is more of like that creamy, sweet fig, and it's also very floral. So the top notes are fig, mandarin, and clementine. The middle notes are freesia, orange blossom, and black tea. The base notes are cedar, sandalwood, and benzoin. And this is really beautiful. I can't fault it. It's beautiful. It's like a fresh spring floral fig, but it just doesn't thrill me to the point that I need to buy it right away. I feel like I can just enjoy the sample and enjoy my moment with it, but it's not a must-have for me, but it is really beautiful and soft and feminine. A really beautiful spring fragrance, I think.
You and I both love this line. This is one of our favorite lines. The eccentric molecule. No, the molecule 1 plus iris. I really thought that I would like this, and I do like it. It's just ISO E Super Iris, so very obviously minimal notes. I like it. I just feel like it's not very different from my regular molecule fragrance. There's a slight sweetness to it. I think that if I do buy this one, I have to layer it with something sweet to kind of bring out the iris more. It's like a clean daytime fragrance. I do appreciate it. I wouldn't wear this out at night. It's a nice summer fragrance too because it's so fresh. I love the whole Eccentric Molecules line. I think it's a great line. I think if you are into fragrances, it's a good one to have in your collection.
Speaking of which, my next one is Eccentric 3 by Eccentric Molecules. And this is lime, ginger, green peppercorn. The middle notes are iris, jasmine, and tea. The base notes are vetiver, sandalwood, cedar, musk, and leather. I love it. It's a sexy lumberjack scent. It's fresh, it's woody, it's clean. It says here, vetiveryl acetate, which I think is the synthetic molecule made to resemble vetiver, which is one of my favorite fragrance notes. So there is like a wood shavings quality to it, but it's really beautifully balanced by the citrus in it. It's really pretty. Really pretty. Lasts really well on my skin too. I would buy it at some point. I'm trying not to buy so many of the same things. I'm trying to kind of diversify my portfolio, but I am very much attracted to these types of scents in general.
The next one, the name, I think I purchased it because when I was looking it up, it's called Dark Vinyl Musk Parfum by Boho Boko. The notes are labdanum, sandalwood, rose, olibanum, styrax, resins, labdanum again, leather, amber, and musk. So the amber surprised me because I can't really mess with ambers, but it would work. Beautiful first application. The incense was really present for me. It's a well-rounded, warm perfume. It's a good day to night. It kind of stays on you. It doesn't go too sweet. I was really surprised about the amber again because it's a base note and it worked on me. So that was my kind of going in. I think it's the resins that kind of competed with the warmth of the amber because resins kind of have like an earthy smell, which is, I love that. So I think it really nicely settled everything out. And the sandalwood was just great. I love sandalwood. I could just bathe in it.
Eccentric Molecules. This is just this old school Molecule 2. Molecule 2 contains the synthetic contains Ambroxan. This is definitely a layering fragrance. I love it by itself too. By itself, it's very much like a skin scent, but it's really beautiful, layered with florals or with sweeter scents just to give them an airy, woody quality to it. It's clean. It's a little musky. It's a little, it smells like the outdoors. It smells like taking a walk on, like, I don't know. Everything that I like smells like taking walks outside, apparently. It's just
nature.
It's really pretty. It's slightly sweet, like skin musk with a refreshing, woody, airy quality to it. That's what I wrote down. Yeah, I really like it. Is it groundbreaking? No, but I really like it. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, like I said, I especially appreciated it layered with sweeter feminine florals. It just gives them a really beautiful, airy freshness.
This is a problem because I like discovering new stuff and I get into it, but then I still have my old faithfuls that I love. White Sandalwood is the next for me by Goldfield and Banks. The notes are Australian sandalwood, Turkish rose, saffron, thyme, pepper, and amber. Again, surprised with the amber, but the pepper and the amber, I think, balance each other out. After dry down, it was really rose forward for me. And then in some moments, it does change to a nice sandalwood. It's a brighter sandalwood, and I believe it's because it's rose forward. So sandalwood is like a little powdery. It's very sultry, but the rose, it's so bright that I think it just balances everything out nicely, along with the pepper. It's just a bit brighter, and like the thyme and saffron. I love saffron in fragrances. I love eating it. I like smelling like it. I love it.
Another eccentric molecules. This is molecule 4, which is Javanol. And Javanol is the synthetic molecule designed to mimic sandalwood. So speaking of sandalwood, this is a very creamy, very cozy sandalwood. It's just straight up sandalwood. Again, the molecules are designed with layering in mind. This by itself is a really beautiful scent. I absolutely love wearing this by itself, but it's also really nice to layer with other things to just give them a nice woody quality.
I feel my most Middle Eastern when I wear this. It's intense cafe mental, and the top notes are floral notes, middle notes are rose and coffee, the base notes are vanilla, white musk, and amber. It's sweeter. I love this company, but they have a fragrance called Arabians, and I don't like that. It's good for daytime for me. I feel like this is something, again, I do wear heavier fragrances, so this might not be for you for the daytime. It is for me. I like to kind of draw attention with my fragrances. It's sweet, but not cloying on my skin, which is, again, a huge triumph for me because amber goes completely gross sometimes.
Next for me is the fragrance that actually reminds me of you, and it's Eccentric Molecules, Molecule 1 plus black tea. Because you wear molecule 1 and you're always drinking black tea. So it makes me think of like sitting in your living room.
I love it.
Sitting in your living room and
soon.
sipping on black tea.
Yeah.
It's really, really beautiful. The main notes are very, very singular. It's ISO E Super and black tea. But it's not a dense black tea like Le Labo Thé Noir. If we think of that one as a hot cup of very strong black tea, this is iced black tea with a squeeze of lemon. It's lighter, brighter. It's just really beautiful.
The next one for me is Black Vanilla by Mansera, and the top notes are black currant, white peach, coconut, Calabrian bergamot. Middle notes are violet, Egyptian jasmine, Bulgarian rose. Base notes are Madagascar vanilla and white musk. It's wonderful. It's gourmand, but it's like, and it's a nighttime winter gourmand because it's so, for me, on my skin, it's so sweet that I can only really wear it on cooler days and cooler nights. But I like it. I was so afraid of sweet or gourmand, but this works.
Next for me is my favorite from the Victoria Beckham launch, and it's Portofino 97. Very predictable because this is another sexy lumberjack fragrance. It's a woody citrus. It is so delicious. Citrus forward fragrances, if you're thinking of a summer citrus, usually they're quite fleeting. They're not the most long wearing, but this is very long wearing. The top notes are Calabrian bergamot and black pepper. The middle notes are amber and incense. And the base notes are patchouli and vetiver. Amber doesn't usually work for me, but like you talked before, the black pepper, if there's black pepper and incense mixed with amber, it's not cloying at all. And then mixed with the bergamot. So I wrote here, it's the perfect mix of citrus and woods, but with a lot of depth and intensity from the amber and the incense. Out of what I have, it's most similar to Perfume de la Tierra by Ceremonia, but this is like the more expensive, elevated version of this. This is a bit more earthy, whereas this is just a bit more smoky because of the incense. You know, this is the sexy lumberjack taking you, you know, for a walk in the woods, and this is the sexy lumberjack has a yacht on the Italian Riviera, you know?
You're like, I'm like Como looking at this
so
foliage.
Pretty.
That's funny. That's so funny. So it's something that was renamed. The original name was Tom of Finland by Itat Libre d'Orange. Tom of Finland was an artist. He was an illustrator that would make subversive, like gay illustrations. He was very, very popular. I think either the state decided like we're not going to work with this company anymore. So now the fragrance is called Clean Suede. Aldehydes, Amalfi lemon. Middle notes are birch, pine tree, cypress, pepper, geranium, and galbanum. And the base notes are suede, vanilla, iris, tonka bean, musk, styrax, ambrosier. Like I think that's what you said earlier. And then vetiver. It's a male fragrance. I don't believe in fragrance sexes. Like just do whatever you want to do, wherever you want to wear. It smells so good. It's soft and floral, and then the base notes are it for me. Somebody described it like a shaving from a cake of soap, and it's just good and it's clean. It's a good daytime fragrance for sure.
Is it like a year-round?
Yes, yeah, year-round. Beautiful.
Year-round,
yeah.
Daytime?
Daytime. Year-round daytime.
This is my final one, and it is my winner. And even though we didn't talk about this beforehand, we're still, I told you, the universe has us on the same wavelength, because this is by État Libre d'Orange.
Okay.
And it's called Remarkable People. And this is what I wanted when I started out on this journey. This is another signature scent that I can add to my repertoire, that I can wear day or night, no matter the season. And it gives me something that I don't currently have in my collection. So the top notes are grapefruit, champagne, and cardamom. The middle notes are black pepper, curry tree, and jasmine. And the base notes are sandalwood, lauranox, and labdanum. So this is spicy and sweet. And it has a really nice, like that sparkling, you smell that like sparkling opening from the grapefruit and the champagne. But then the cardamom kicks in, and the cardamom and the labdanum, I find that labdanum smells quite sweet. So that kind of enhances the sweet and spiciness of the cardamom. And it's just really beautiful. On my skin, it's like a sweet and spicy situation, but not too sweet, not too cloying. And it's just really beautiful and unique. This is what I'm going to be buying with my Twisted Lily discount code. Like the freshness of it, it almost smells like, it's like when you're like cracking open a cold bottle of Coca-Cola, you know, that like fizzy sweetness?
Yes.
That's kind of what this smells like. It's so good.
Let me just try to find this perfume. I think this is it. Yes, this is it. So let me just smell it, because this is my last one. Yes, this is it. Okay.
That's your winner?
Yeah.
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Sandra and I found them. So this one is called Treillis Eau de Parfum by Nila Vermeer Collections. It's a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 for me. But on my skin, it reminds me of red jello, and I love it for some reason. You know the smell of like red jello, like in the little cup? I love it. So the notes are ginger, cinnamon, elemi, blackcurrant, basil, cardamom, sandalwood, saffron, clove, jasmine, incense, myrrh, oud, vanilla, amber, virgin cedar, vetiver, patchouli, oak moss. Lots there. But like, and the bottle is gorgeous. It's a beautiful glass bottle, very reminiscent of like kind of 1930s, like late Art Deco design, very minimal, but there's like some decor. It is an Indian house. This is what I think I wanted. I've had the traditional beautiful feminine perfumes and like the femme fatale perfumes. I wanted something like that was weird. I really, really, really like it. It was so interesting. They do have a travel size. I think if they do, I will just start with that and I will purchase it and try it.
Yeah, buy the travel size so you have a little spray
this is
option.
Nothing, not doing it.
So I love it. We ended on a
happy note.
You have red jello and I have Coca-Cola. We're just out there smelling like processed foods.
I would spray or dab on one side of my body and then another fragrance on this side. which I kind of want to try to start doing that when I go out. If I like a fragrance, I want to see
Mix
maybe
and
like
match.
eccentric molecules and like something else here, just as I move. Because I would always just like mix one on top of the other. I'm going to try to do like, that's what
So
I
they're
learned.
coexisting on two different sides of your body.
Yeah.
If you have found a new fragrance that you're loving for 2024, give us all your favorites in the comments. I always love to know what people are wearing, what people are gravitating towards. So we'll be chatting with you in the comments, and we will see you soon.
Bye.